time you face Bowser, you only have to hit one bomb. This one, the final, you have to hit him 3 times. And the bombs don't regenerate, so what do you get? Like 5 bombs total in a circle around there? So that means I typically try to go for the far ones and keep like the closest possible star you could, or bomb you could possibly have for the final bomb. Alright, so a little bit of fun fact. So Nintendo eventually remade this game for the Nintendo DS under the name Super Mario Bros. 64 DS, or whatever super long awkward name that was. Now, what's interesting is me, my friend, and also his older bro all got this game at kind of the same time. For a Nintendo DS, that is. And so, we were like in a race to like, why play the level when you can skip the level? And so, my friend's older bro and myself were like neck and neck. And for some reason, I can't remember if we were doing the 120, or no, it was just if we can beat the game. So all we needed was like 70. And so here's kind of the funny thing. It's like, because we always competed about everything. So I was like way ahead. Oh no. Like, I mean, I was here. I'll show you where I was. I was at the final pipe for Bowser. And there is some wind blowing stuff at the end. So I did a long jump in an attempt to, you know, save off, what, 0.5 seconds? And I was in the air, the wind of course picks up and is as trolly as ever, and then Mario was swept over the edge and I died. And I'm like, to my friend's older bro, I'm like, oh, I was right at the end pipe. And so he wasn't too far behind me, honestly. So he got to the pipe and stopped. He like sat there to wait for me, which honestly I have no idea why. Thought I was gonna fall right off the edge there. And I'm not joking. It took me like a half hour to get back to the pipe. All the time. He was just waiting, even though we were racing each other. And so then I go into the Bowser fight. Well, we go in at the exact same time. And I did beat the Bowser fight before he did. So then, therefore, I won in this race. But I'm like, dude, had you just gone into the Bowser fight and not waited for me, you would have won. But he was just like, ah, no, you won. I'm like, I really didn't. Like, so yes, here, right here. This is this bizarre, frustrating part. Like, here's where I tried to do a long jump, and that wind just blew me clear off. It was so bizarre. You have to get past here. Ah, yes. Final red coin there hidden. And look at that. You know where you respawn if you die in the Bowser fight, right? So you can self-sustain forever. Just grab that life every time before you re-attempt Bowser. But I love the final Bowser boss music. This evil gothic music. Mario, you again? Well, that's just fine. I've been looking for something to fry with my fire breath. Your star power is useless against me. Your friends are all trapped within the walls, and you'll never see the princess again. Oh yeah. The blue ones eat Seek Mario, so let me see if any of these spawn as coins, and I can... Oh, you cheapskate, man. Okay. Well, that was a As you can see, Bowser has a lot of new tricks in this final battle here. Oh, why is that? You know... Come on, Bowser. So I'm going to try to throw him a little early. See, that was closer, but it still was to the right. Yeah, the problem is I have to first zoom out. Okay, come on over and charge at me. Charge at me. Then I have to zoom in to see the actual bombs. Alright. Oh, come on, man. Totally gonna run out of health on this first attempt. Nope. Yeah, that might be the problem, actually. So I'll try to like time the lag and see if I can like throw it off to the left, and then by the time I press B where it actually is in the game. So like maybe about right there. Wow, okay, no, that was bad. They're still always to the right. Not today. Oh, that's it! That's it. I threw it. So I think, actually, I have a legit excuse why I was being so horrible at this video game today. Yeah, let's try that again. Oh, it's that line again, though. So long, something, Bowser. Okay, let's get over to this bomb right here. I can't miss this, right? Right here, Bowser. Right here. Alright, look at this. There is no way I can miss this. His head is in the block itself. Yes! Okay, so now, even though he's basically already broke off like a million pieces, typically if you're like actually good at this game, you hit him twice with 2 bombs, and then when he jumps back on, he will break off all of the pathways to make something here, which you will see shortly is in the shape of a star. And so now you have a much smaller... Okay, now this is going to be hard because I can't have a super close... Come on, camera. They're all kind of far-ish away. Oh, that was good. I did it early again. It's very rare that I seem to be able to throw it to the left of what I'm aiming for. There it is, there it is, there it is! Okay, so we have beat the game with a weird kind of laggy thing as soon as I got it figured out where I have to actually aim. So here's the thing, when you beat Bowser with any other stars other than 120, you will get to read what he says. If you beat Bowser with 120 stars in your inventory right now, he actually does have a slightly different dialogue, but literally that's kind of the only change. So it's like, man, after all of that work and there's not that much difference in the endings. No, it can't be. You've really beaten me, Mario. I gave those troops power, but now it's fading away. Arg, I can see peace returning to the world. I can't stand it. It's not over yet. Come on, troops, let's watch the ending together. Wahaha! Now, he says something like, what? You've gotten all 120 stars? Impossible! Alright, so like I said earlier, I believe if you are to actually beat the entire game hatless, you're still hatless at this point. Once you get this, though, and have this wing cap, you have the cap back on instantaneously. It seems an oddly specific memory, so I doubt that I dreamt it, but it was like many years ago when I was good enough that I could beat Bowser hatless too, or even have the nerve to try it. And yes, once the wings despawn here, it's just all a scripted cutscene now. Not to be like rude or anything, or like impatient, but Princess, didn't you like promise me you promised that you were gonna bake me something? Like, you know, a cake? So let's get to it, I'm hungry. You know what's deeply disturbing to me is the same guy who voices like all of these people, Mario, Luigi, Bowser, or not Bowser, Wario, Waluigi.
The power of the stars is restored to the castle.
Like voices Peach. Like, I don't think this dialogue.
And it's all thanks to you.
We'll check the credits.
We have to do something special for you. Here we go! Listen, everybody. Let's bake a delicious cake. For Mario.
But still, like any other instance of Princess Toadstool or Peach's voice, or you know, like sound effects being voiced by like a dude who like voices everyone else, it's like, but why, Nintendo? Why? So, anyone out there who absolutely complains about how trolly this game is, how horrible the controls are, how absolutely piece of garbage the camera is in almost all of the games, like, bam, in basically one day I could 70-star beat it. So, you get off your high horse, get off your lazy rear end, and see if you can do it too. Because I tell you, it is so trolly. This has to be like the most trolly, horribly programmed, frustrating Nintendo game, like made by like Nintendo, like not just you know, game that has appeared on Nintendo platforms, but like actually Nintendo first-party made games. I think this one takes the cake as far as it is the most diamond in the rough video game they've ever made. Honestly, sorry, but not sorry that I didn't bother to really showcase TikTok clock level off at all. It's just, like I said, I've got the worst memories about that. Worse than that bonus game where you're in the cloud clouds with the wing caps. Okay, right there, Leslie Swan. That's an interesting story in itself because she is not a professional voice actress. And in fact, when did video games even turn to that? Professional voice actors or voice actresses. If you look at all of your like Nintendo Power magazines or look at video game instruction manuals, video game credits, you have some names where it's like they were just there working as like the localization team. So Leslie Swan is like special thanks to like Nintendo of America localization. So the fact that like you get this Japanese game, right? And she is like there to, I don't know, help translate. I don't know if she was just the marketing.
Thank you so much for playing my game.
But she did, whatever she did, that was her job. And so it's like, oh, well, we need this video game, has a female, needs a female voice. Hey, Leslie Swan, will you voice this girl for us? And so it's hilarious. You see that in the Nintendo 64 era. Your video games, typically the people who made the games, the people who developed the games, just voiced it themselves. Like, I would say the best example of that is Perfect Dark, because, I mean, literally, all voiced in-house. And that game came out in the year 2000, so kind of in the 2000s, that was kind of the revolution of where video games started to actually have everything voiced. So you didn't have to read like 6 million things of dialogue, like in RPGs, everything was voiced. And so obviously if you're then going out and voicing something, you don't want to have horrible voice actors. So you have to hire actual professional voice actors, voice actresses. But there's a good example of, I think Leslie Swan did great voicing Matt for not being a pro. And also, like I said, there's a few other Rareware games out there which I'm like, the voice acting is great. So, I don't recall if I am soft locked. And once again it is, so it appears that I do have to reset to if I want to do anything. So I hope you enjoyed Nintendo's first attempt at making a three-dimensional Mario game.